Hey guys, this is Camfrey15, joined by my co-host TheRedWolf.
Oh, man, I slept so well last night. You want to know why, Cameron? Or do
Oh,
you
I
already
know,
know it?
I know why.
Oh, man. Such a good movie, guys. Such a good movie.
Yeah, yes. Typically my co-host, if you guys watch my channel, is typically on my anime reviews. He never rarely, if any, barely comes on my movie reviews. But I guess you could say this is a once in a million shot.
Yes, because there's something I want to get off my chest to you all about SAO as a whole. But you want to introduce us first? You want to start off first?
Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously, like we're here, you can obviously see the bordering now that I added. Woo! And then obviously you clicked on the video. Um, what is it? We are reviewing Sword Art Online, Progressive, or SAO Progressive, Aria of a Starless Night, which um, well, it's I don't know if I would say this is a spinoff, but it kind of is a spinoff compared to the original SAO. Now, SAO Progressive is made by the same exact author. It's just it goes SAO Progressive from the light novels, and I believe there's even a manga for SAO Progressive as well. It goes into more greater details of the Aincrad arc of going through all the floors and stuff like that. If you're interested in reading the book, because I know there was a huge outcry of, I guess you can say, criticism for how the Aincrad arc was handled in season one, where they only covered like around 14, 15 episodes and they skimmed by it pretty damn fast. And a lot of people, from what I know, did not like the pacing on that. And
Yes. And on that note, for those who are like hitting on SEO for that, well, I have to agree with you on that. Like I did not like the pacing and all that stuff. They skimmed over way too much. But come on, you can just go ahead, please. I
yeah,
interrupted you.
but yeah, essentially that's what this series is here for. Um, as the fact that it goes through the journey. Mostly this story of SEO covers more of Asuna's type of, from her point of view. And I'm guessing if there's going to be this movie series of SEO Progressive every year going forward, we're getting strictly Asuna's view compared to the anime, which is only focused really on Kirito's perspective. So that's the whole thing there. It is confirmed already. It's been confirmed even before the movie was came out here in the States. That it was getting a sequel movie announced, SAO Progressive. I forgot the title of the movie was called at the end of the in the movie. But there is going to be a second SAO Progressive movie coming next year. When it comes, probably around the same time it did here. But in terms of when you can see this movie, well, it came out last week, so there's only, I would guess at this point in time, limited showtime. So if you have yet to see it, please do. Now, before we get to my co-host rant, obviously I'll let him talk and let him talk. If you're new to my movie reviews, if you haven't seen my generic movie reviews, like say, for example, how I will be reviewing Spider-Man No Way Home next week, what we do in my movie reviews on this channel is we're going to we talk about non-spoiler stuff, and then there'll be a part in the video where I'll put a little video that says spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Click on the video if you haven't seen it. And then after that point, we will be talking about the full spoilers of what happens in the movies, our thoughts and story points, yada, 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 and how much we like this. Now, the non-spoiler, we'll talk about certain things here without getting into spoilerly topics and stuff like that. But if you want to hear the spoilers, again, please see the movie if you have not. Otherwise, I guess you're gonna have to wait for it to come out on DVD. Yes. But before I turn it over, obviously, I want to give my thoughts. I enjoyed the film. It was a blast to watch, and it was very vibrant, very colorful, and it has a lot of life in the film. And I will say this, I think my co-host will sentiment this, but I know there was some sort of criticism going around the fact that maybe Asuna cannot be a lead character in terms of being the main focal point of a story. And I watched this. Good God. I already liked Asuna as a character from the anime and the series, but god dang, this movie makes me damn near simp for her. But she definitely can cut it as a lead role, and stuff like that. And I was very impressed. Anyways, obviously my co-host has been waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks. So
No, no,
if
no,
you
no. I've been waiting for years and years and years, actually, because I've been dealing with this for years from other people criticizing. Well, I say as a whole, I can see the flaws. Okay, don't get me wrong, guys. I see the flaws, but hating on Asuna, that's where I crossed the line right there.
yes,
Yes.
if you guys are new to the channel, please, I believe, check out one of my Hero Academia season 5 reviews. It was somewhere around the episode 19-20 area where I just unleashed on the My Hero Academia fandom because at the time the fandom was really hating on season 5 when I think season 5 isn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be, yet they're the same MFers that are going to be overhyping season 6 like crazy. I'm one of those dudes. And season 6 for My Hero Academia is going to be great, but come on, let's maybe lower expectations. But here, I guess you can say, is the next biggest rant on the channel. So my co-host, TheRedWolf, my friend, best friend since high school, Denzel. No, not high school, junior high, Denzel. Please give us your rant. The floor is yours.
Yes. Here goes everything, guys. Like I said, I've been dealing with this for years now, and I've been hearing a lot of Asuna haters out there, just for like a petty reasons, honestly. Like, like for like the Sugo scene. Yeah. And yeah. And
sorry to cut in. Let's be honest. Honestly, I know SAO has its problems. I do not like that Sugo scene. I know the reason why they do it. It's to build up hate for Sugo, but seriously, you have about a 28 to 30-year-old man almost R-wording a 16 to 15-year-old girl. Yeah, no.
I think he's in his 20s, actually. And but also for that reason they hate Asuna. For that reason they hate Asuna when it clearly wasn't her fault. Like, what hey Sugo, why you hate Asuna? Like, it's not her fault she was in that situation. They clearly explain how she got into that situation in the first place. So why hate on her character specifically? By the end of SAO, when Kirito and Asuna cleared the game and all that stuff, well, Kirito, they were supposed to have died, but Sugo somehow transferred Asuna into ALO. Like, they basically explained that, basically. But, and to say that Asuna got nerfed right there, come on, guys. I mean, yeah, I did not like the situation that Asuna was put in there, but hating Asuna for that, and not just right there. I'm getting hate for Asuna from people who haven't even finished the series. Like, they didn't even go to season 3. They stopped at season 2. They didn't even watch the movie, I bet.
Or no scale.
Yeah, or no scale, because Asuna was goated right there also. And I don't know, like dude, I've been talking to some friends on Discord, like they're just trashing the series, even though they just gave up on it after season 2. And what else am I supposed to say here? Like, all I'm gonna say is you guys don't give Asuna enough credit. Like, she fought with Kirito for 2 years in SAO. It may not have seemed that long because the first season they were time skipping a lot. But this movie shows how good Asuna can be. Like, she was literally fighting like her heart out. She fought alongside Kirito. She was moving, guys. Come on.
Yeah, to add to that, they gave her a lot more development in this film than at all in any of the other products till we got later into this anime of SAO.
And guess what, guys? This is just the beginning. Like, if this was all of SAO, just imagine what she's doing in season 3 right now. She was literally fighting a whole army along with and I know how people feel about like how they did Asuna in season 2, but let's not forget she was going toe to toe with Yuki, who was claimed to be the strongest fairy in ALO by that time, and not only that, Yuki gave her ultimate skill, Mother's Rosario, which she later uses in Ordinal Scale, and then she also uses it again in season 3. So why am I still hearing stuff like Asuna is useless, like Aqua or something? Like people kept comparing her to Aqua. I was like, I don't know if it's her ALO design, because there are memes saying like Asuna saying to Aqua, "Who are you?" And Aqua's like, "I'm you, but better anime." Like, what? Can someone explain that to me, please, and down in the comments? But that's the point I'm trying to make. You guys are trashing Asuna for petty reasons, just for what happened in season 1. Again, it's not even her fault. At least that guy got what he deserved.
I take it we're good.
I hope. I might say more later on, but yeah.
Yeah. All in all, what my co-host is trying to say is, listen, the Asuna haters who weren't on board with this movie, well, give this movie a chance. And you might, if you don't like the way the anime handles Asuna, go watch this movie. And I will say this: the movie SAO Progressive Asuna is my favorite incarnation of Asuna.
And think about this. This is only the first movie. Think about how many more movies it can get.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's going to be more than one movie, but yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe these series of movies, if it gets a lot of support, could turn into an anime series. And I'd definitely be down for that, because then you really can go into a lot of stuff. But I think that should end your rant. And let's see if there's anything else you got to say.
There might be. I just need to get it in my head for a second. But go on, Cameron. Go on.
All right. So after my friend's rant, we will be getting into the non-spoiler discussion of Sword Art Online Progressive Aria of a Starless Night. Now, again, let's obviously how I start my typical non-spoiler reviews. I give a brief summary without giving major spoilers. Anyways, a brief summary of this movie. Well, it's this, again, the SAO Progressive is a story that focuses on the perspective of Asuna. And essentially, if you've seen season 1 of the anime, this movie essentially goes up till really the boss level, the first boss level where Kirito and Asuna team up. Essentially, you see the growth and development of Asuna as a character, alongside a new made character, anime original character named Mito, her friend, and she and Asuna have to, well, obviously overcome SAO, the start of it at least, in here. And that's kind of just a generic basic summary, because there's really nothing, and that's kind of it. That's the movie, really. It's Asuna growing as a character to get better adjusted to the SAO game. Now, in terms of characters, obviously the 3 main characters, especially on the poster, are Asuna, Mito, and Kirito. Now, honest to God, if I'm going to be honest, you can kind of kick Kirito out of the whole. Well, you can say he's a main character, but he's not a main character. He's like legitimately a side character in this film.
Well, yeah. I mean, even though he did pretty much save Asuna quite a few times.
Non-spoilers.
Shoot.
So, yeah. Let's keep the non-spoilers to the thing. But
all I'm gonna say is Asuna went through a lot than you guys thought.
Yeah.
Because the reason why she would be wearing a hood, you'll see why.
Yes.
And she's all edgy.
So obviously, I guess Kirito, he's typical, same old Kirito. The only difference I would say to this Kirito is he feels a lot more likable than the anime one. I will say that, and has a lot more charm. And then I was also told, or I've watched reviews said that he acts more like how his real manga counterpart acts, or his light novel counterpart acts, which is kind of a shy-ish type of boy, not kind of a boy how you saw in the anime, who kind of just like kind of keeps to himself and kind of can be somewhat of a melodramatic character. He's definitely kind of more toned up in a brighter light here in this film. The other main character, most of the main character aside from Asuna is, like I said earlier, the anime original character named Mito, who is Asuna's friend in this movie. Now, like I said, anime original. She is not in the SAO progressive manga. I think they have a manga. She's not in the SAO progressive light novels. This is a completely brand new character made up from the ground up, just to serve as, well, I guess, a motivating best friend factor for Asuna. And from what I heard of other reviews, obviously it's a huge difference, the fact that you add a whole brand new character to this. I did enjoy her character a lot. Without going to spoilers, there is a moment which affects Asuna and Mito's friendship as a whole. But I definitely did like Mito as a character. Your thoughts on Mito to go on before because I'm trying to look up for their English dub voice actor.
Your camera's frozen, by the way. Dang it.
I think I'm good right now.
God dang it.
All right. Sorry for the quick break in the action technical issues, but what were your without giving away huge spoilers, what were your thoughts on Mito as a character? Did you like her? Is there something about her that you didn't like?
Yeah, I like her. She definitely put a little bit more spice to the whole Aincrad arc, honestly. Well, there's only the very start of it, but I don't know if we'll see her in future movies, but yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously Asuna, like I said earlier, she's the steal of the movie. Great character. They go into great depths with her character. I definitely did enjoy the film and stuff like that from her perspective. And I definitely did like the development she goes throughout during this film. So I enjoyed it. Your thoughts on Asuna in this movie?
You know my thoughts on Asuna. I'm all about Asuna.
Okay, so obviously the one thing too is we saw this movie dubbed because here in the States, here in the West, you can see this movie subbed or dubbed. Now we saw the movie dubbed because that's our preference, and again, like I said, I'm only just gonna say this. I think they Sword Art Online English dub is one of the best produced dubs you can watch out there. So yeah, so obviously focusing around the main characters, obviously Kirito voiced by Bryce Papenbrook. Again, great. What more can you ask for him? He was Kirito. That's it. As for Mito, obviously, you liked her too, liked him too. So he's just great. He's just great. What more can we say about Bryce?
He's my idol. He's my idol.
Yes. Now, as for Mito's voice actress, Mito is played by Honorius Quinones. Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right or anything, but some roles she plays in other animes. She plays Yuki Yoshikawa from Horimiya, which is a fan favorite of mine. I'm looking down the list. The anime, I haven't seen this anime yet, but the irregular at Magic High School, she plays Miyuki Shiba. I know a lot of people like that show. She plays Nessa from Pokemon Twilight Wings, the little short you can find on YouTube. She plays Echidna from ReZero. Oh my goodness. Now hearing that, that's why her voice is so seductive. Oh God. God. Too, you'll probably hear a lot more of her next season from My Hero Academia. She also plays the bunny hero Mirako, who will make a big impact in season 6. But those are some of the biggest roles she has. And then obviously, star of the show, the main lead, Shermie Lay as Asuna Yuki. And listen, me and my co-host, we love Shermilay's performances and whatever she does, whether it's Uiharu from Scientific Railgun. Obviously, her biggest role, obviously, of course, aside from Asuna Yuki.
Your camera froze again.
My camera's fine.
Your camera froze again. Dang it.
Hold on. Okay, back. Sorry, but as I was saying, lead role Shermilay. Obviously, we love her in almost everything we hear. Like I said, Uiharu from Scientific Railgun. Obviously, her biggest role opposite of Asuna Yuki is her playing Lucy Heartfilia from Fairy Tail, which I love her in that role as well. And listen, look, what more could we say about Shermilay? She's a great voice actress. Literally, she knocked it out of the freaking ballpark. And I don't care if she's actually listening to this. If she is listening to this video, well, I'm just going to say this. We both love you as a voice actress, and we love your work. So
I'm your bigger fan, though.
Yes, you are her biggest fan. But yes, I can't wait to hear more of you, and I'm also looking forward to hopefully when Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest gets announced, it's dub announced. I can't wait to hear you again as Lucy Heartfilia, as well as any other property of SAO. But she knocked it out of the park. It was freaking good. Anyways, other stuff about the movie. I thought the music was great. Music was great. You heard obviously the iconic SAO theme when typically Kirito and Asuna team up. I'm not gonna say it, but you guys know that song. Great. Music was great. The atmosphere, wonderful. Animation,
top tier.
Beautiful. Just great. You know, it looked visually stunning. The environments, the monsters in this film looked good and disgusting at the same time.
Kind of weird how Ilfin, the Kobo Lord, now looks buff instead of fat.
Oh yes, that is true.
I mean, I think we should have known that because of the trailer, but yeah.
Yeah. Visually, it looks good. You know, everything was great. Other voices, side voices, they were all good. And yeah, but I think that's where we kind of end our non-spoiler review in terms of what there is to talk about. Like, that's kind of it. That's really it without getting into a lot of spoilers and stuff like that. But yes, again, like I said, if you guys have yet to see SAO Progressive Aria of a Starless Night in theaters, please go see it, whether it's subbed or dubbed, because I think it's probably going to be in theaters for probably about a couple of days or maybe a week at least. Because if you guys know in the movie world, Spider-Man No Way Home's coming out literally next week. And obviously, box office and theaters are going to be packed just showing that movie alone. So, if you haven't seen it yet, please go see it. Go see it in theaters. Please don't pirate this film. It definitely deserves the support it needs because, it was a great film. But obviously, kicking on, if you have seen the film and you cannot wait to get it in our spoilers direction, we'll be back with the spoilers section, and we'll be talking about the spoilers for Aria of a Starless Night. So till then, guys, if this is it for you guys, well, then we'll see you guys in the next video. If not, we'll see you guys in the spoilers section. See you guys soon.
Oh my god, I can't believe you made it this far into the video and you haven't pressed the like button yet. I'm disgusted. I'm sorry, Kevin.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
As I was saying, we are back with the spoilers section of Sword Art Online Progressive Aria of a Starless Night. I'm getting tired of saying that title. It's so damn long.
Just say progressive, man. Just say progressive.
Yes. So we're getting into the spoiler section. So yes. Again, before you continue, even though I gave the little intro video that says spoiler alert, as I was saying, again, please click off if you have not seen this movie, unless you don't care and you will want to see what happens in this film. Anyways, going on to the spoilers. Obviously, like I said, this whole thing covers from the start of our characters entering SAO with a little bit of background information at the start till till the boss battle against what's the boss's name again?
Ilfang, the Kobold Lord.
Yeah, Ilfang. And then obviously when you see at the end of the movie, Kirito and Asuna getting to the second floor, and everything. So anyways, this movie starts off well in the Asuna Yuki household. Obviously, I forgot to mention this in the non-spoiler section. But if you're wondering about fan service, there's not a lot of fan service. There's like booty shots every now and then. And then there's a bath scene, but there's not many fan servicey scenes in this, so it's not over sexualized like say the anime version is, which I'm fine with that, and I'm good. I do like my fan service. I really do. I love my fan service across any of my anime. Just not to where it's openly out there where you have tentacle stuff going on, or 20-year-olds almost R-wording 15 to 16-year-old girls. That's where I draw a line. If you know what I'm talking about, you know obviously about the Leafa scene with the tentacles and alicization. I got sick of it.
Yeah, it's happened a little bit with Austin as well. Yeah, even though she bit the hell out of that tentacle. Yeah, ouch.
Yeah, don't remind me. God damn it, Denzel. But yes, you don't have to. If you're an SAO person who's like, God, the fan service, it's not bad. They don't. The fan service is like tame. Again, like I said, you get the Asuna bath scene where there's a little fan service, but you don't see no booba or no bootay scene or something like that. But they do close up. There's like probably about 2 or 3 times they do booty shots, not only from Asuna's perspective, but one of like Asuna's friends at the start of the film in school. They give a booty shot. Again, I'm all fine for booty shots, but come on, guys, come on, really?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. During the bath scene, I thought they were gonna give Asuna the Quinella treatment. Like her long hair's covering her
Yeah. Listen, I would have been fine with that too. We all simp for Quinella in here. We all swim for Quinella.
So he says.
Anyways, the movie essentially starts off with Asuna waking up and everything. Well, no, it doesn't start off. It starts off with like a whole crazy. We see a little bit of the beta testing, and we see Asuna's friend in this movie, Mito, who's pretending to be a guy who's using a guy avatar, essentially go up against what we see is definitely Kirito. And Kirito beats her to the finished thing, and then that's when the beta test is over and everything. Obviously, the beta test and everything. We then cut over to Asuna, and obviously, what is the tradition of Asuna before all the development we get with the mother and stuff like that?
She was asleep.
Oh no, the breakfast scene.
Oh yeah, she walks in and she sees her dad.
Yeah.
And
is this
her older brother? And her older brother.
Wasn't the older brother in the anime as well? Does he make an appearance in the anime?
Not per se. If he did, then I don't really remember because I don't think I ever saw him unless they're like in like pictures or something. But no.
Yeah, and obviously, if you guys seen the series of SAO, well, it's morally her mom that's kind of a bitch to her.
I mean, at least she's not like whose mom, Sayu's mom from
oh god,
Higehiro.
Don't get me started with that. Now that woman almost made me want to punch her.
Yes, but if you guys watch the anime, you know that her mom at least,
Yeah. Obviously the dad is seemingly cool with Asuna. He supports Asuna 100%, although the fact that he tried to get her married to a 20-year-old man when she's 15.
Can someone tell us what Sugo's actual age Because we don't really know for sure.
I have no clue.
His Asuna's dad said that he was young, but how young are we
He
talking?
seemingly had to be in his maybe early 20s or mid 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Mid 20s. I'm being generous. I would be generous to say early 20s. I would say like maybe he was 24, 25, or 26. And again, this was modern day society. In this movie, the movie takes place in the year 2022, or 1 year after us. I still find it funny how in the original series, it like 2 years had totally passed in that, and they try her dad literally tried to hook her up to a psychopath that wants to do these things to her, and not even giving her consent to do it. And also, listen, one of my many problems with that scene too, with the fact that that's all revealed, it's like, bruh, this isn't like the ancient days where you were, destined to marry this person or something like that in like old kingdom folklore. But that was all for money purposes. That's why he did it. Now the brother, from what we see here, is like the only one that actually cares for his younger sister, and everything. And obviously, like we said, this is the time before Asuna got the development she did to eventually stand up to her mom and tell her mom, like, hey, I'm staying on my own 2 feet and you can't tell me what to do. I make my own path of who I want to be with, what I want to do in my life, yada, yada, yada. Obviously, then you get the Asuna where she's kind of just submissive to her mom, and that's what happens in the scene. And obviously, we know that she's moving to another school after her friends are gone. Now her friends are like, oh, you're moving to a new school, oh Asuna, that's so sucks, but that's so great. Can you put us in your new job where you get all rich and fancy? And oh my god, yeah, that whole thing. On top of it, she's like one of the top in her class in terms of grades on this one test they took. And then who do we see walk into the classroom?
Miss forgot her real name, but she goes by Mito in the game.
Yeah, I totally went blank on her real name. I'm just calling her Mito because it's short and it's sweet.
I'm telling you, we should have watched the sub. maybe we would have remembered.
What do we find out about Asuna and Mito's relationship?
Well, they're well, when Asuna found out that Mito is a gamer, like she found her in an arcade playing Tekken with some other people, and Asuna tried to sneak away, but Mito stopped her with her.
And essentially forced her to be her friend and tell nobody that I do gaming from school. And that's kind of the whole thing about this movie is the relationship between Asuna and Mito. And you get that nice scene where they're playing Tekken on their phones. And obviously Asuna is not a gamer, 100%. She gets her ass kicked in Tekken.
Yep.
But obviously the one thing you see about this relationship is, maybe at first you could say Mito kind of forced her things on Asuna by saying, you're going to be my friend no matter what, and you're not going to tell anybody what you saw with me playing in the arcade game. But obviously, as time passed, they grew to appreciate each other and be friends. Now, the one thing I do find interesting is Mito in school, when school hours are going on, she gives the persona of the girl that's kind of distant from everybody, and she's kind of, I guess you can say, the socially awkward kid to where nobody really kind of affiliates with her. But you get a funny scene when Asuna at the start of the movie is talking to her friends. They're like, should you go talk to her? She's really cute. And I'm like, are we getting a lesbian action in this film?
I think only you are getting that feeling.
Hey, I would have been fine on girl on girl. I thought we were gonna get that some part in the movie when Asuna had something in her mouth and then she was getting close up to her. I'm like, are we getting girl on girl?
Guys, this dude from the very beginning of the movie, he will not stop mentioning girl on girl.
I'm sorry. I see girl on girl. I think it's hot.
Yeah, but dude, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, especially not in anime.
Unless it's accidental in the bad scene or something.
Yeah. But the one thing we do see is the fact that, and we get the kind of trope started with the fact that, well, Mito is kind of like a big sister type of character to Asuna, where she says, I'm going to look after you. I got you. Don't worry. I'll help you get better at all these games and stuff like that. And then this is when she recommends the fated game to Asuna of SAO, the new, obviously, in the series, the virtual online game made by who? Because I keep forgetting his name.
Akihiko Kayaba.
Yes.
You cannot forget that. You cannot forget the main man who started it all, my dude.
Should I tell them the story how? So we all saw the movies together, and I completely thought Kayaba was somebody else. Who did I say he was?
Kikuoka.
I'm so stupid, man. I keep getting those two mixed up. But anyways.
So somebody give me a bonk Cameron on the head down in the comments, please.
Oh my goodness. But anyways, that's the whole thing there. And Asuna's like, I don't know, I'm not good with games. How are you gonna walk me through this? And Mito's like, don't worry, I'll show you the ropes, I'll have your back and everything. Just tell me if you're gonna come into the game and sign up. So how does Asuna get the nerve gear?
Oh yeah. She actually used her brother. She actually used her brother's nerve gear, which he left behind while he was on the trip, I believe.
Yes, and we actually do find out that her brother works for the same company that Kayaba does to make the nerve gear.
Mm-hmm.
So you get this funny, nice, interactive scene how she's creating herself, and she's like, "This is too hard. Come on, just." And she essentially, we find out in SAO Progressive how she makes her standard character, and she just sees pictures of herself, which I heard is actually different from the light novels. So how they handled it, but it was a very funny scene because she's like, I don't want all this crap. I don't want to do all this. I don't even know how to do this. Custom character. Asuna, it's character customization. The greatest thing known to man.
She's new to all this. Cut her some slack.
So she gets into the game. She's looking and she's calling for her old girl's name, her real name. She's talking to an NPC. And the other players around are like, does this girl know she's talking to an NPC right
now? And like Cameron said, there was a booty shot.
Oh, yes. There was a heavy Asuna booty shot there, which I know we very much appreciated.
No comment.
Anyways, what happens then after this whole funny scene?
A big brutish man starts running towards Asuna and grabs her and pulls her away and introduces himself as Mito.
Yes, and that is Mito, girl Mito. We know she even turns off her like voice configuration, and she's like, "It's me, Asuna. Why didn't you tell me you were gonna come into the game?" And then obviously Asuna's like, "Why are you looking like a boy?" Hey. Maybe girls want to dress up as boys. It's the same thing. I like to make girl customized characters. So if there's a future VR technology thing, then you'll see me as a girl character.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it was funny. Now they work together and everything a little bit. We get a little bit of a time jump and everything after they're spending some time in SAO, and they're just getting Asuna to understand better. And everything of how the game operates and works and everything. And then it gets to the point where Asuna's like, okay, I gotta get home. Otherwise, my mom's gonna freak out on me. And we all know what happens here, don't we?
Yes.
Obviously, you have the whole thing. Go on, say the scene.
Cue the dramatic music. She slowly pulls down her menu. She looks for the logout button. It's not there.
And then what happens next after they realize that there's no logout button?
They hear the bell ring, and then they get teleported into the central plaza where everything started.
Yeah. And let me just tell you, the way they introduce Kayaba, good God, the animation looked crazy, but I'm like, they have this man gushing his blood just coming up in here and just forming into a cloak. I will say this. he looked a lot more ominous in this alliteration than he did in the anime. So obviously you get the typical scene where he's like, "Oh, this was my plan all along, you know. SAO is essentially a death game. You know, if you pull off your nerve gear, you die. If you freaking get killed in this game and your HP bar goes to 0, you what?
You die. And you die in the real world as well.
Yes. You know, the whole SAO story of the death game and everything. Any other death ways of death I forgot to mention?
No, I think I got it. Like, if you try to move it, the microwave signal would just fry your brain and stuff.
Yeah. They get everybody gets the mirror thing. They look at it. Mito turns into her girl state, what she truly looks like, and yeah, what. The thing I found hilarious is the fact that there was one guy who was dressed up as a girl.
Son of a, you're a guy. You're not 17.
And you're 17? I swear, man. I was dying.
Anime, by the way.
Huh?
It wasn't the anime, by the way. It wasn't the anime, by the way, if you forgot.
Uh-huh. Oh my god. You did see some characters over the overview of what Kayaba was saying. Some characters we see. I think we saw Liz. We saw girl with the dragon.
Huh? Silica. That's Silica.
I keep forgetting her damn name. Silica. We saw Silica. Obviously, she was one of the main people after this whole thing was just like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get out of here? We saw Sachi. We saw Sachi. It was very quick though, but you can see Sachi. I think you see a bit of Kirito in this. He's just kind of with the shaded eyes. You see Klein. Yes, you see Klein. Agil's there too, and obviously them. Anyways, what happens after this whole thing is over? Mito, well, everybody's all moaning about the whole fact that we're screwed and we're gonna die. Mito forcibly grabs Asuna's like, we gotta hurry. We gotta get the best items, the best everything. In effort of doing that, what happens to Asuna?
She just freaks out. Like she almost got killed by a monster just rushing in. Like the wolf bit her and her HP bar almost hit 0 until Mito saves her.
Yes.
And yeah, that's when Asuna's like stop. Like I'm not a gamer like you. I'm gonna end up dead anyways and stuff. Like,
and this is when you get the bond of Mito and Asuna and their friendship truly being awakened of the fact that Mito rehealing her, says, I'm going to do whatever within my power to keep you safe and I'm going to protect you. But at the same time, you're going to have to learn how to play the game. But just let you know, I will always be there and I'm always going to protect you. I'm not going to let you die. Which is a very interesting quote statement said by Mito. When we get later into the review, we'll explain something. But what does Mito do to make Asuna feel a little bit better?
She hugs her, obviously, and
makes her join her.
Yes, makes her join the party, basically friending her, and yeah, and that's when Asuna like, we don't need to do that. We're already friends.
Yeah. You get obviously a training montage. At this point, we see Asuna with a sword. A nice her basic outfit for the film, which looks really good. I think this might be my favorite Asuna design.
Would you say that?
Yes. I think I like this Asuna design compared to the other ones.
Well, we say that now until we see her KOB as design. Let's see. Let's see in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. Also, too, I forgot to mention, Mito's the one that I guess that started her braided hair trait.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We forgot to mention that, like, back when they were like in school, the Mito like braided her hair, like braided Asuna's hair, like you see now, like how she has her hair now.
Yeah. And then I did like it how you have this one bed scene later on in the film where I thought we were gonna get some girl on girl, I guess. Well, she braided Mito's hair. Seriously. She put something in her mouth, and I'm like, is she gonna do mouth to mouth? I'm like, I'm down for this. But no, they're not They're not friends like that. But they're good friends, and you get nice scenes. You get a very emotional scene about you get one scene in the dungeon, which was a very big scene, especially foreshadowed something that happened later in the film. And what was that?
They opened the treasure chest. They were about to open a treasure chest, and then a horde of monsters started attacking other players. Yeah, yeah. They just stood by and watched as those players got slaughtered by those group of goblins and stuff.
Yeah, and it was all a setup because Asuna was about to grab this chest because they're going through a dungeon to try to find items. And Mito kind of prevents Asuna from touching this chest, and she's like, "You can't touch this chest because guess what? You know, that could be a trap. And it's a trap. Typically, it could be an explosion, something else, or even a gang of monsters that can essentially rage and then kill you, and you're essentially screwed." And that's what they were seeing there. And then you get this kind of very emotional scene as Asuna's watching. Now, Asuna wants to help at first, but Mito's like, "No, we can't help them. We'll end up getting ourselves killed." And you get back to their room sequence, and obviously Asuna's kind of traumatized by this. Remember, guys, SAO, even if you watch the anime, they don't show it much, but SAO traumatized these damn people that were in this game that made it out alive. Like, not only it made people in Laughing Coffin turn into killers, even in the real world, it messed people's psyche up to the point they damn near went crazy because of what they saw in there.
Some even took their own lives. Let's not forget.
Yeah. We can't even remember. So obviously, with this perspective of Asuna, it's great to see this perspective because in the anime, we never got to see this. We never got to see how Asuna made it on her own. Now, in the anime, obviously, Mito wasn't a character or a thing because this is an own anime original character that wasn't in the original. It's not even in the source material. So we never understood, okay, what were the trials and tribulations of Asuna's perspective before she ended up fully meeting Kirito and becoming boyfriend or his girlfriend, essentially. And what did she go through? And we see that, my God, damn, she went through a lot to become the character she is. In SAO, you see, in the bed scene, or in the room scene, I think bed scene I said a little bit too much by there, but in the room scene, you have it to where Asuna's like, "We're gonna die, aren't we?" And Mito kind of consoles her and says, "No, we're not gonna die. I'm gonna be here for you, like you're gonna be here for me and everything. And we'll get through this. We'll get to the 100th floor. We'll save everybody, and we'll go back to school and have fun times like we used to, and everything." And it's like, yeah, I just hope new character doesn't die then, which we all thought, but P.S. she didn't die, which is actually a shocker.
Yeah, that was one of my very first predictions when I saw this character. Like, I thought she was going to die in this film.
Yeah, but we get a new character introduced and they don't die. Wow. Anyways, as I was saying, going on, you get a scene in the forest. You get a forest scene. As I was saying, and this was the very infamous scene of the movie, one of the game-changing points in the film. And it's when Asuna and Mito are taking on these Victory Bell looking creatures that look even uglier than a Victory Bell from Pokemon. But what does Mito spot in the vicinity that kind of takes her away from the main fight?
It was some kind of rat with a hoodie. I don't know. It was some kind of rare monster that drops a rare item. She tells us and I was like, she asked, can you handle the rest of the monsters from here? And Asuna's like, okay. So Mito went after the monster and slew it. And then when she got back, she noticed that Asuna is about to attack one of those plant creatures that has those little red seeds on them, because Oh yeah, we should forget to mention Mito warned Asuna not to hit those monsters with the red seeds in them, because if she does, it'll explode and it'll summon a horde.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mito tried to warn her. Mito tried to warn Asuna, but it was too late. Asuna couldn't stop herself, and she attacked that one plant, and they suddenly got surrounded by a horde, separating them. And Mito fell off a cliff.
Yeah. And presumably, what happens in this scene?
Yeah, like for the moment, Mito was trying to get back up there to Asuna, but then she got surrounded herself. She looked at both their health bars. Mito was just panicking and stuff. Like she wants to save Asuna, but she's trying to stay alive herself also. She pushed through until she couldn't anymore, so she disbanded the party all of a sudden without letting Asuna know, and then she ran away.
Yeah, and then in the meantime, Asuna, as she's fighting, she's seeing that Mito left the party, and it even gets a message, and Asuna's very emotional. She's like, what the hell's going on and everything? Why would Mito leave me and everything? Eventually, Asuna manages to, there's only one more monster left, and it's like, okay, Asuna's going to get out of there alive. But then giant kaiju comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, whoa. This seemingly might be over. And you get this scene where the giant kaiju has his jaws, and it's looking like it's about to essentially crush Asuna and kill her for good. But who then comes in who we figured might have come in?
The main hero himself of SAO as a whole, Kirito himself, aka Kazuto Kibikaya.
He takes out the monster and everything. He sees Asuna's face. This is, and mind you, this is when Asuna and Kirito first come across each other. Now I heard this is definitely different from the light novel as well. In the light novels, they actually first meet in the dungeon when Asuna is kind of just on her own fighting for death, essentially. That's what I heard. But you get the scene where Kirito's like, you need a potion or something, and he gives her a potion. The only thing is Asuna's kind of stunned right now and in shock with everything that's happened to her. She's not saying a word, and he's like, he gives her a way of the map to get back safely and everything, and he's like, I guess I'll catch you around then. Just stay safe out there, don't die. So she goes back, and obviously she's very emotional because, well, her friend left her for dead. And everything. And, you know, this kind of brings up the whole movie perspective or point of the fact, like, we even see it later in the meeting scene with the whole newbies who were getting on the beaters and the beta testers and everything, about they just leave us out to die. And that's kind of the whole question when eventually when Asuna meets up with Kirito yet again. But before that scene, I'm getting to that. You get this one scene with Asuna where she eventually comes to term that Mito's left her for good. And she's like, I'm not going to let this game dictate how I'm going to die. I'm going to die on my terms, and I'm not going to let this game be the one to tell me. And this is kind of when we go on I guess you could say a dark Asuna type of little mini arc.
Yeah, she went to the store, gets herself a hood, and she went into the dungeon. She started fighting monsters like a maniac. Well, I say badass, but yeah. And yeah, she kept fighting and fighting until she loses her weapon, and then she meets up with Kirito once more. Kirito tries to like you know, give her advice on fighting. Asuna's like, I don't care if I die and stuff, and keep in mind, she kept fighting for 3 days in that dungeon.
Yeah, she told Kirito, I've been in here for 3 days fighting. And I'm like, you're just asking yourself to die.
That's what she basically wants.
Yeah.
She was like talking until she passes out.
Yeah. She passes out. Kirito manages to pull her out. And she eventually wakes up. And obviously she sees that Kirito's still there. And she's like, you didn't have to take me here. And he's like, well, I did. You should be thanking me that I saved your life. And it's the whole Kirito's kind of telling her, like, listen, what you're doing is kind of stupid. Like, there's more life to live ahead of you. Like, don't do something like that. He also informs Asuna about the whole meeting that is taking place with the whole boss battle we see at the end of the film. So we get a little bit of a mini skip that they eventually go to the meeting, which is a huge difference. The fact that, well, the difference compared to the anime is in the anime version of season 1, she was already there. Here, they actually go together and they already know each other at this point in the film. So now the one catch here is when Asuna's kind of looking around, she sees Mito. Mito's still alive. Yeah. And she's like, Mito. Now she thinks about going to go talk to her, but she kind of holds herself back and everything. So then this is when we get the whole scene where blue-haired dude, who I forgot his name,
Diabel.
Yeah, Diabel. Essentially creates
Diabel.
Diabel. Oh, I'm not gonna say it. You know SAO more than I do. Damn it.
Get the name right.
He goes on to make the mention how they plan on doing the whole boss raid mission and everything to get to the next floor and everything. You obviously have the one guy who's like, you see, the problem is this. There are beta testers in this game, and they leave us newbies out to die.
His name is Kibao, by the way.
Okay. Listen, I'm not good with name characters. Now, we actually do cut over to Mito. Now, Mito kind of looks a little like, I need to hide this because, and everything. Obviously, they pan over to Kirito. He has the shaded out face because we know he's a beta tester, and everything. And as Asuna's listening to what this guy's saying, she recalls back to what Mito did to her, of the fact that when he, especially from the standpoint he's like, you see, these beta testers, they mess with us, and then when they're outnumbered and there's a winning battle they can't do, they just leave you behind. They leave us newbies behind and everything. And Asuna remembers that's essentially what Mito did to her. And everything. Although Mito at this point in time, you can't blame her because she thought Asuna died. And when she clicked on the party, she thought Asuna was dead. So she had no recollection that she was still alive and everything. And obviously that's the whole thing. But we see main man Agil, played by Patrick Seitz. Yes, the man, the one and only Patrick Seitz, the god. Tell him to shut up and say, listen, just grab this guidebook and everything, and you'll be good.
Yeah, those guidebooks were handed up by the ex-beta testers, so.
Yes. So that was the whole thing there. You get a nice scene. You get a nice party scene with everybody planning. There's the forms of party. Obviously, you have Asuna and Kirito, since they're the only two together. They form their party. And Asuna's kind of hesitant to do this because, again, she recalls the last time she was in a party with her friend Mito, and she doesn't know. And obviously, Kirito's like, look, don't worry, I'll have your back on this. Trust me, and everything. You get the lovely bread scene where Kirito with the cream.
And Asuna with her gasms.
Foodgasm.
And then she starts scarfing it down.
Yes. It's funny because Kirito's like, you must really like this bread and everything. And then all of a sudden, this part in the movie made me die out of laughter, where he's like, Kirito literally asked Asuna, so do you want to, I have a place up in this one area, did you want to come stay by? You can, we have I have a full bed, I have a bath, I have other foods and stuff like that, a bunch of other stuff he said.
Can you repeat that one last time? What was that last part you just said?
And he's like, bed. And I'm like, Kirito, calm
No,
down, my guy.
no, that last part. The 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 bath.
I literally, that scene made me die of laughter. Like, it was funny, especially with the part when Kirito's like, you mean a full-fledged bed? And I'm like, bruh, I think Kirito, you're being a little bit too thirsty. So I guess you could say we get an earlier interpretation of Kirito and Asuna living in a nice little house for a bit, a lot earlier than how we saw in the anime. Asuna still keeps herself hoodie-less to not just show herself to Kirito. You get the bath scene, but is not like the ordinal scale bath scene. That was very sexualized in that one, and god damn it, I still remember that bath scene in ordinal scale, and that was the greatest scene in SAO tops.
You really enjoyed that bath scene?
Yes, I did.
In ordinal scale?
Yes, I did.
Just imagine, that's future Asuna compared to this Asuna.
Yeah.
She's a little more, evolved.
Yeah. I know. You get a nice scene. She's obviously enjoying the bath, and Kirito's like, oh, enjoy the bath. I won't peep in and everything. She's like, she looks for a lock, but the door is not locked. It's not specified if Kirito was a peeping Tom or anything. Seemingly he wasn't. We don't know that. But you get a nice scene where she kind of has this downtime to relax a bit, and she kind of is feeling good about herself. And it's like she can actually take a deep breath here. She comes out, she puts the hood back on just not to show her face or anything no more. And she looks at Kirito, she's like, you better not have been looking in. And he's like, or no, she's like, why are you so close to the door? And he's like,
why are you lurking?
Nothing.
I was just drinking some tea.
It's funny. It's very funny. And then, anyways, you get a scene as they're walking on the road to just take a break and everything, and you get this really nice Kirito Asuna scene here. Again, like I said, another positive is you get a lot more Kirito Asuna development as characters, and these two characters knowing each other, because obviously these two characters are lovers and everything and stuff like that. And the fact that you get this information, it's so damn good, and it actually brings it's so heartwarming to see these two characters, and it's like they're so similar with what they say. Because Asuna goes on to tell Kirito in the scene, like, I got left high and dry by my friend and everything, and she was a beta tester. And, Kirito's like, oh, now I see why you're kind of down and why you're like that and everything. And essentially kind of tells she tells Asuna, like, I don't think your friend wasn't trying to be fake and not be your friend, just leave you out to die. I think she truly is your friend. The question is, you'll just have to find that out on your own, what she truly is, to how much she truly means to you and everything. And you get the whole scene where Kirito's like, thinking of your story, I can kind of relate to that story. And he gets pretty down. Now, I'm guessing we're going to find out that explanation more about Kirito in the second film, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But
even though we probably already know about it.
Yeah. But, this is what I'm talking about. It's like these two characters were like literally meant for each other and understand each other and stuff like that. I definitely did like this scene. Did you? I know you loved this scene.
Yes, I mean, like I said, best girl right there. Like, people saying that the other SEO girls are better than Asuna, but I need to remind you, 2 years, guys, 2 years. She fought with him.
Yep.
Point proven from my rant.
Yeah. Anyways, what happens is we cut over to the day they're about to enter the dungeon. Obviously, Asuna sees Mito walking in front of them and everything. And I love this whole thing where Kirito's like, after we do this, I'll tell you my story to make you feel better and everything, which was a nice little promise and everything. So they get ready to fight the boss, and this boss battle was animated greatly. Big boss battle looked great. It's like my host said earlier, he's not fat. He's pretty buff.
Yes, he's buff, not bad. Wow.
Obviously you have Kirito and Asuna taking out the little side minions and everything while the main people take on the boss. Obviously you have the scene where Kiabel, did I say that right?
Come again?
Kiabel.
Which one are you naming?
The blue-haired guy.
Diavel.
What happens to him? We know what happens to him.
Yeah, he was leading everybody up until the last point when the boss's health bar reaches red. He charges in, expecting one weapon, but the boss pulls out another. And Kirito tries to warn him, "Wait, stop! That's not a Talbar. That's an Odachi." And that's when the boss suddenly like jumps up and strikes downwards, paralyzing some of the players, and leaving Diablo paralyzed for Ilfang to suddenly strike Diablo down with a few slashes here and there, finishing him. Yeah, Kirito tried to save him, but we already know what he said to Kirito at the last moment.
Yep. And this is when you get the fight of Asuna and Kirito working together side by side a bit. But Asuna starts the fight first, but then this is when we actually see Mito get involved in the fight, helping. And then there comes to the point where Kirito then jumps in to save Asuna. And this was, and when I was watching this, okay, this is the part where Mito's going to die and she's going to have some sort of sacrifice scene to save Asuna so she can go on and continue. And that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, well. Then again, I would be pretty disappointed if they did cut her off. I mean, she's a new character.
Yeah, but I think the whole thing of the buildup was I think you're supposed to feel some sort of way about Mito after she left Asuna for dead. And I guess they could have did a redeeming factor where you're on her side if maybe Mito sacrificed her life. But honestly, if they were going that angle, I never would have been mad or hated Mito. Yes, what she did was not cool. It wasn't cool, but you can't blame her in a way because she tried to reach her. She just couldn't, and she thought her friend was going to die right then and there.
Yeah, and Asuna basically forgave her, so.
Yeah, you have this scene where she shows herself, or well, no, she still has the hood on. She's talking in front of Mito, and Mito is like, Asuna, is that you? And Asuna says yes and shows herself.
Actually, she didn't show herself.
Oh yeah, she didn't show herself. Her cloak doesn't come off till the fight happens.
Yeah. This is the part when like Mito starts feeling sentimental and like feeling regret. Like she wanted to apologize and stuff, but Asuna just brushes it off and says, let's keep fighting together and stuff.
Yeah. And you get essentially the three main characters fighting against Ilfang. That's his name.
Yeah. This is when like Kirito and Asuna like charge. They both charge in. Asuna steps in, stabs Ilfang, but then Ilfang slashes his blade at Asuna, ripping off the hood. Well, not exactly ripping it off, but Asuna literally pulls off the hood and just lets it loose. And that's when Kirito recognized her. Yeah,
he's like, it's that girl from before. You obviously have the scene where Kirito's like, Asuna, back me up on this one. Which was a nice scene here. Man, I just love it. I just love when Bryce Papenbrook and Shermie Lay say their characters' names. Whether he says Asuna or whether she says Kirito. God damn it. I love the way she says it. It sounds so cute and romantic.
Kirito.
Mito gets involved in this fight too a bit, and then they manage to stall Ilfang for a bit for Kirito to do the final blow. Cuts right through the beast, obviously gets the black swordsman jacket, and that's when we see Kirito become the Black Swordsman. And funny enough, background information, we actually got to the movie theaters early, and then I walked in the theaters thinking that the movie's probably over that was showing because there was a Sword Art Online showing before we saw ours. And all I heard was, "You're a beater! You're a beater!" And I'm like, "Oh, no. That was hilarious.
Yeah, we kind of skimmed through that scene. He didn't put on the Black Swordsman coat just yet until after they said they blamed him for like, "You're a beater."
Yeah, what happens in that scene after he does this? After he gets the Black Swordsman jacket and stuff like that?
Yeah, he just walks out, and she was about to go after him, but Mito Mito stops her, like, "Wait, where are you going?" And Asuna told her, I think I found my path, like what I wanna fight for and stuff."
Yeah, and that's with him. Oh yes, your boyfriend, your future boyfriend. Yeah, you get the whole scene with Kirito doing the whole fake type of persona where he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a beater, all right. I'm a beta tester. You scrubs didn't know shit." And I will say this: in the anime, they made him come across more of a dick. In this, here, when he walks away and he looks at Asuna, he gives her a nice cheerful smile, like, "I don't mean what I say." And she sees this, and I guess she got not turned on, infatuated with this. Mito asked Asuna, did they want to team up and be a party again? And that's when, like my co-host said, Asuna's like, I think I found my purpose now, and that's going with him. So we get a complete difference compared to the anime, because in the anime, she did go catch up with Kirito, but she asked Kirito, like, "Why did you do what you did?" And Kirito said what he had to say, and then he just dips and he continues on being a solar player self, and then until he meets Asuna yet again, as a knight of the.
Well, I mean, let us be clear. In the anime, there was a lot of time skips, and let's be honest. But by the time Kirito went through that door, we didn't see what happens afterwards. So maybe Asuna went after him in the anime. So who knows?
I heard in Progressive it's different. So I haven't read the light novels. It's an interest. I would be interested to read it, but the ending scene in the end has it to where Asuna catches up with Kirito. They have a discussion about everything that's happened to this point. You get a funny scene where Asuna's like, "In the meantime, how did you know my name?" And Kirito's like, "Do you see in the right left-hand corner of your screen? Our health bars are there. You can see." And she moves her head. He's like, "No, don't you move your head. Use your eyes." And she sees, and she's like, "Oh, no, I'm stupid." And then she's like, "So what's?" And then she looks at his name, and she's like, "You're Kirito." And she says it the way only Shemule can make 1,000 angels fly when she says it. Yes. Can I just say this again? If Shemule is watching this video, you say Kirito in the most romantic type of way. A girl should always say that to their friend.
I highly doubt she'll watch this video, but all I'm gonna say is I'm in love with her voice.
Yes. I think we can all say the way she says Kirito is just great.
Kirito.
Great. I'm gonna be watching the Kirito
compilation.
Yes. Yes.
He can't speak, guys.
Damn, that Porky Pig up in here. But
man, Cameron, you are struggling with that sentence.
Yes.
And I was gonna let it go, but that was one too many stutters right there.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, they say their things. Obviously, Kirito tells Asuna a little bit about him, but Asuna's like, "You don't have to tell me until you're ready to tell me," and everything. And obviously, the ending scene is just them kind of reflecting on how far they've got, and we see a difference is that, well, it's seemingly like they're going to do the second floor together here. which, hey, it's a plus for me. I want more Asuna Kirito scenes.
Me too.
Maybe we get more romance between the two in progressive than I ever before in the original series.
Well, it probably won't happen until Asuna goes into KOB.
So yeah. Anyways, who do we see behind the door?
The lovely info broker Argo.
Yes, Argo, who we see in the SAO games thousands of times.
Yes.
Yeah, she's there. She says, those two were the guys that beat the first boss. I might have to check them out a little bit more. So I don't know if this is gonna mean that Argo's gonna have a bigger role than she's had in previous.
She only appeared in the anime once. That's it.
I'm guessing from this little scene, it's seeming like Argo's gonna have more of an influence in progressive. And if that's the case, positive on me.
Yes.
Because like we said, we barely know enough about Argo. We just know she's an info broker. That's it.
And she puts up high prices for them.
Yeah. And we get the post-credit scene in the movie because there is a post-credit scene. It isn't a movie if there's no post-credit scene. And essentially just confirms that SAO Progressive is coming back with another movie in 2022. So yeah, and that's it for SAO Progressive. Again, like I said, I enjoyed this movie. I loved it a lot. And definitely my favorite character in the series was Asuna. Just seeing this incarnation of Asuna, just being a different version of Asuna, it honestly made my love for the character like go skyrocket. Like I just loved it. Now as for Mito, I don't know if we're gonna see her anytime soon. Maybe she can make an appearance in the second film. Who knows? Maybe she was just a throwaway character from this film. We'll just have to find out.
Maybe she'll die in the future films. Maybe.
Yeah. Your thoughts on the movie before we get out of here?
Solid 10 out of 10, dude. I've been waiting for this movie.
Good question to ask you. Do you like this movie more than Ordinal Scale? Because I know you love Ordinal Scale.
Yes. I actually like this movie more than Ordinal Scale. Yes.
Okay. I think that's good for you. I can't wait. You know, I remember when this was announced and it looked like it was going to be an anime, but who knows? Maybe after a few movies, if it gets a lot, maybe they might turn it into an anime.
Well, judging from how many people I saw in the theater.
Well, that's just our little local theater we went to. Who knows how many people saw it in other theaters and even worldwide across the states. Hell, even in Japan. You know, there was probably a lot of people in Japan theaters seeing this movie.
Yeah, well, I hope you're right.
Well, it's already getting a lot. If it's already getting a lot of love to the fact that it's getting a second movie, then I think it's going to do good. So yeah, I know in Japan, SAO is beloved. It's not as, I guess, seemingly in the middle like it is out here in the West or in the States.
Yeah.
So anyways, thank you guys again for getting our thoughts on Sword Art Online Progressive Aria of a Starless Night. So yeah. Again, thank you to my co-host for joining me on the movie review. As well as checking the movie out. And yes, we're gonna get out of here, guys. So
this was a
yeah, great movie, and I can't wait to see the next one in theaters. But other than that, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I've enjoyed this video. So until then, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on Sword Art Online Progressive. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Are you indifferent about it? As well as hit the subscribe button, not only to my channel, but my co-host channel as well. He has a YouTube channel of his own volition and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's kind of it and everything. In terms of the next movie review, if you guys want to know, like I said earlier in the video, I will be reviewing Spider-Man No Way Home on Thursday. Yes, I'm seeing it early release Thursday, and I'll give my thoughts, not spoiler and spoiler. And hopefully I see my Toby and my Andrew alongside my Tom Holland. But yeah, But other than that, we're gonna have to wait till then. So we'll catch you guys on the next video. In terms of catching my co-host on the next video on my channel, Dragon Quest this Friday. No, not Dragon Quest, Eden Zero. Yeah, but other than that, we'll be back tomorrow for our Eden Zero review. But other than that, guys, we'll see you guys in the video. Till then, guys, peace.
Peace.